Hello all and welcome back to Sky Factory 4 episode 6. This is Mord. This episode we're going to be getting into teching and teching hard. I think we're going to try to get into Mekanism a little bit and see if we can figure out how to get some automation with machines, work towards some jetpacks, and possibly get into Twilight Forest so we can get everything else we need to get ME going. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. It helps you follow along. It helps us know that you're watching. But without further ado, we're going to get into it. So I've set up a few recipes here. A couple things we're going to need for jetpacks. We're going to need the chargers, and there's also an advancement book entry for chargers if you look at the Age of Power. So we can just get all three of these. That's not too big of a deal, and it should help us charge jetpacks. I'm honestly not even sure. But here is the Tier 1 charger. It's iron and redstone, pretty easy to make. Tier 2, you just take gold instead, and you throw the Tier 1 charger in, you get Tier 2. And then we get the same thing with Tier 3 with diamonds, so it's not too hard of a progression once you get your resources going. And then we'll stick that here to charge up, and that does work. And I don't know if that's going to drain us or not. We'll find out. Oh, it's not even touching it. Great. And we'll move that around, but we've got that done. And then, so let's talk about our goal. One of the things we're going to do is we're going to be looking at creating jetpacks first. And this is so we can fly around in the Twilight Forest dimension. And one of the things we're going to need is a ton of these basic coils for them. And that's done inside an enrichment chamber, and that is Mekanism. And also to get to the enrichment chamber, we need to be able to make basic control circuits, and basic control circuits are done in a Metallurgic Infuser, which is basically the start of Mekanism. So I set up the recipe here for Metallurgic Infuser. It's osmium, which we got last episode, and furnace, iron, and redstone. Pretty easy to make. And I'm going to go ahead and set it up here on the power thing. So we do have power. And in order to make what we need, those basic control circuits, we take redstone, put it in here as a fuel. So I'm going to take some blocks of redstone. Let's get 10 or so of them. Throw it in here. And that'll charge up with redstone. And then we take our osmium ingots, which I should have here. Throw it in there, and we're going to make control circuits. Let's make like 10 of those, just so we have or 12. And let's just have those going. And we're also going to need to make a steel casing for Mekanism for most of our machines. But we're looking at the enrichment chamber. And if we bring up that specific recipe, we need 2 of the basic control circuits. We need iron. We need a steel casing. It's fairly easy to make. 2 of those. We've got our casing. We should be able to make it. There we are. Enrichment chamber is done. So, I have no place to set it. I can bring this up for now. And we'll set it over here, because we aren't really using that at the moment. Put it here. Enrichment chamber is charged up. And let's take a look at our jetpack recipe. I think what we need in enrichment is we just need to get some of these compressed redstone. And we're also going to need Invar plates, which Invar is going to require... See, that's just redstone and enrichment. And an Invar is going to require iron and I want to say nickel. And I have both of those, but I don't have nickel ready to go. So let me go ahead and get the compressed redstone going. Let's just put like 10 of those in there. We'll get those going, and then I'm going to set up for Invar, which is just going to be an alloy in here, so I'll have to clean this out and do a couple things with it, but I'll be back in a moment, and we'll get our Invar sources going. Okay, we're back, and we've got the basic stone jetpack recipe set up here, but we got to add some stuff to it. So let's start looking at Invar, which we're going to need that for the coils, the Invar plate that goes in the middle. So I've made some nickel in a tank and some molten iron. So I put both of these here. I'm going to put iron on one side. It'll take 2 parts iron to 1 part nickel to make Invar. Our Invar is starting to fill up. We're going to make a couple blocks of this, and then we're going to put it in our enrichment chamber to make actual plates out of it. So I'm going to let this finish. We'll cut to the end. So we've got our first couple Invar ingots now, and I'm also waiting for these to finish, but I'm going to throw these in the enrichment chamber, and they should make Invar plates. And we will come back when we have all of our plates done. There's the first one. We'll let them keep going. Okay, that's 13. We should have enough. We've got more going in here, but let's go ahead and make some of our coils. We'll make our basic coils. One of the things we'll also need is we'll need the leather strap, which is 3 pieces of leather and iron nugget. We'll get that. The leather strap will go into the middle of the jetpack recipe, which is not quite ready yet. Let's go ahead and put the coils in here. So if we look at the major components here, right, we're going to need 2 thrusters, which take 3 coils apiece, and a stone energy cell. So let's make some of those stone energy cells. We're going to need 5 total. We'll put our coils in the middle of that, make our stone energy cells, and then let's go ahead and create our stone capacitor, which is going to take 3 stone energy cells in the middle of smooth stone. So let's do that. There's the stone capacitor. And then we're going to need to make both of our sets of thrusters. So we'll do that with this, and 2 stone energy cells as well. So we've got 2 stone thrusters. We've got a stone capacitor. And then let's go ahead and look at our recipe, which we should have everything for now. So that makes our stone jetpack. Let's take a look real quick at how this works. Can I set it in here? Oh, I can? Yep. So that actually charges that up. But I think we're going to go ahead and go for the next tier as well, because it's iron and it uses everything we basically did, except for a lot of this stuff is going to be iron instead of stone. I'm going to need to get some iron together for that, but I will get that together off camera, set it up like we set this one up, and we'll continue on towards this stage of the jetpack, and that's probably the one that we'll end up using in Twilight Forest. So I'll be right back when I get that set up. Okay, I'm set up with the iron jetpack here. Let's take a look at the recipe real quick. We need 5 of these, just like before, except for they are iron energy cells instead of stone. We're going to need to take those and put them in here to create our thrusters, iron thrusters. And we'll have to take the 3 iron energy cells and make an iron capacitor, just like before. Then we stick our thrusters down here. We stick our capacitor here. And we have a tier 2 jetpack now. So let's throw this in the charger, let it charge up. That actually drained most of that charger, which is good. We're about sized where we should be. We are going to have to replace our chest piece in order to use this, but for now, it's nice because we got this, and we also can switch between hover mode, toggle our engine on, hover on, and then if I do this, I can actually hover. And it looks like it's going to hold our energy pretty well, so I should be able to carry some blocks with me and be able to hover down and get to Twilight Forest as we need to get to our ores, because I know in this mod pack it's like little islands, and this will help us to get around. So I'm going to come back and I'm going to probably work on the Twilight Forest Cake, which is fairly simple. Let's take a look at it real quick, but I think it's just flowers, which I know I have, but I don't have ready. So let's do Twilight. There it is. Yeah, it's just flowers around a cake. I think I have a cake somewhere. I'll dig that stuff up, and then we'll get our Twilight Forest Cake together, and then maybe we'll go peek in there and see if we can get some of the ores that we need. I know one we specifically need for ME is boron. So if we look at this, we need to get liquefied boron in order to make Ferroboron, because Ferroboron is used for ME, but we'll get into that more once we get it. We'll come back and we'll poke our head into the Twilight Forest. Okay, we're back and we're about ready to look into the Twilight Forest dimension. As you can see, this is the recipe to make the Twilight Forest Cake. I went ahead and got this stuff together because we've seen it all. We got all the ingredients. And let's go ahead and throw a couple of these items off, because if we're going to take it with us, let's go. And I don't need these. All right, so one of the things I wanted to do too is I wanted to upgrade my pick to a diamond level pick. So I've got a new alloy in here, which is diamond and coal together, and that will make a diamond, a pick that can mine obsidian, which should make it where we can get most of everything we need. From there, I'm not sure what's required for boron or lithium, but we'll talk about why we need those in just a second. Let's go ahead and get this to cast. All right, and we're going to go to the tool forge, and I'm going to set this in here. I'm going to go ahead and repair it up, just because I'd rather repair it with iron than with the hard carbon when I get done. But let's see if I can do hard carbon with a new head. That's good. So now our hard carbon is here. Our mining level should be obsidian. Yep, that's pretty good. And we've got decent durability as well. So we'll use that if we do run into some problem getting the ores. And let's take a look at what we're going to try to get in the Twilight Dimension. What we need for ME is we need these calculation presses. And while these two, this one just requires iron. This one requires steel, and you take a circuit to make all these molds. This one requires ferroboron, which is, if you look at the alloy, is boron and steel. We already have steel, but we have to get boron, which is one of the things that we get as an ore from Twilight Dimension. We can also set up a laser drill for it, which we might do a little later down the road, but we're going to try to go get enough to just make it where we can actually make make these out of it. So we're going to need a block of tough alloy, which is ferroboron and lithium. So we're going to need boron and we're going to need lithium, and we're going to need quite a bit of it to get these presses made. But I think once we've made these presses, we can make everything we need for ME. So once we get that, we'll be good to go. So let me run downstairs and we'll set this cake up and we'll get into Twilight Forest. I'm also going to take an overworld cake with me just to be safe. And I probably need some blocks. Let me get some blocks real quick. I'll set this here. It'll probably do the same thing when I go in. It'll probably make an overworld cake to get back, but I just want to be sure. So I've got it, just in case I need it to get back. Let's see what we got. All right, we're here. What is that? Interesting. Is there an overworld cake? I don't see one. Oh, it dropped one for me. Okay, let's see if there's a place that I can go and be safe. It looks like I'm actually on the Lich's castle. Isn't there like a force field or something that keeps me out of here? Alright, then let me put my jetpack on hover mode and just see if we can get away from that. Yeah, does it not let me in at all? Because my platform's there. Am I going to be able to get back to it? Alright, let's go ahead and drop one of our cakes here, just so we have a place to get back to if we need to. Yeah, this just must be from the Lich's thing. So let's see what we got. That looks like a Naga maze or something, doesn't it? Alright, well what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go down to this level here, and I want to make sure that I can see that castle, because I got to be able to get back over there. That's a little bit of an unfortunate spawn, actually, but that's okay. We can come over here and see what we've got. Let's see what we got. There's some lithium right there. So let's go ahead and get our lithium. That's what we're here for. Okay, 2 lithiums. Nice. And we know it's straight out from this, so I'm going to take a couple of torches and just mark this, knowing I need to go that way to get back to the to my way out of here. So let's also take a look. Titanium. What's this? Uranium. Can I get this? Rock crystals. I'll have to look at those. I'm not sure what they do. Dilithium, that's good. I'm looking for boron. What we got? Nickel. Oh, there's boron right there. Sweet. Got to get a little more of that. Thorium. Oh, come on. Up. Nice. Look at all this stuff, though. We got lots of options. And with the way this is set up, I can sort of see all the mining that I need to do without having to, like, really... What's this? More boron? Nice. Redstone I don't need. I got plenty of that. That looks like more boron. Nice. Uranium I will also take. Just still looking. Looks like more boron. Yep, sweet. So really it looks to me, there's some diamond. I don't need diamond, even though it's hard to leave diamonds. It's funny. That's funny thing about Skyblock, right? You the things that are valuable become different, right? Because you have the ability to generate all this stuff. I don't want to get below half on my jetpack because I got to get back. Coal. There's lithium. Yep. Cool. There's more lithium. Sweet. And I'm going to walk wherever I can walk. How am I doing on fuel? About halfway. Okay, so I'm just going to keep walking along this island. More boron. I'm going to leave rock crystals. They take up too much room. Oh. Don't recommend it. All right. Okie doke. There's my torches. All right, with that, I'm going to head back. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? All right, I'm going to head back and recharge, and then we'll see where we are. Okay, we're back. Let's take a quick look at our booty here. We got 14 boron ore, 7 lithium ore, a couple titanium. I don't know why we have silver or lead. Those we can just get rid of. But we got a few new resources. I'm going to get a few things set up for AE, and I will be right back. We're going to get ready to create these inscriber presses and the machine to use them. So I'll be right back with that setup. Okay, we are ready to go ahead and make the presses that we were talking about. And in order to do that, we're going to need a cobblestone circuit mold, or really any circuit will work, but a cobblestone is cheap. And in order to do that, we need an inscriber. And then in order to make an inscriber, we need flux crystal. I've set up the inscriber recipe over here, except for the flux crystal. And the flux crystal is actually pretty easy to make. Oops, I got to get out of that. Hang on, I don't want that. The flux crystal we can actually do in the Metallurgic Infuser with Redstone, which we already have in there, and mineral chunks. So what we have to do is let's just get a stack of mineral chunks from here. We'll throw it in the infuser that we have up top and let it go. Why isn't that working? Oh, that's in the way. Okay. So, there we go. And that will go ahead and create a flux crystal. We just need one to make our inscriber, so we'll wait for this to finish. There's our flux crystal. And we'll go ahead and put it in here. We'll let the other ones go. And we have an inscriber. Then we'll take our inscriber and we'll put it down over here. Should be powered enough. We've got our chisel head cast, which is required to make our cobblestone circuit, and we're going to need 4 cobblestone. Let me grab it real quick. We'll skip to the end. That's all there is to that. We've got our four cobblestone circuit molds. We're going to go ahead and make the iron one because I have it in here. So that's going to be the Inscriber silicon press. Let me change the location of our faucet. There it is. And while we're doing that, let's go. It's going to pour a whole bucket. So let's go ahead as well. And I have our boron already melted into a tank, so I'm going to put it on the back side of the alloy tank, and we're going to start making our molten ferroboron, and this is steel over here. Actually, we might want to stop that just a second, because we also need this steel to make our other press. So we've got our one press here. We actually, hang on, it still kept the other one there too. So we've got our silicon press. Let's go ahead and put the steel on the back, and we'll run that as well. And we'll run that into here, which should give us the logic press. And then we have to get our alloys made. Let that finish up. And I'm going to go ahead and move that since we don't need it. Take our molten steel, put it here. Take our molten boron, put it here. And we'll allow that to continue to alloy. Then we're going to need the same thing with this ferroboron. That's an engineering press. Then we'll let that finish up. I don't know if I can actually transfer this back or not. Let's try it. So if I take this out of here, I should be able to put it in here. Oh, where'd that ferroboron bucket go? So we can transfer that back over here. And then we're going to also need to melt some lithium, which I will come back and do. After we melt this lithium here in this tank, we'll put it... Hang on, put the rest in here. We'll transfer that to another tank, and we'll alloy that to make our tough alloy, so we can make our last press, and that will make all 4 of the presses that we need for AE2. So once this gets done, we'll come back and finish that up, and then we'll get into making our basic circuits for AE2. Alright, we're back, and we've got a couple more items that we need to set up for AE2. One is, well, I accidentally started making a little bit of tough alloy by placing one of these blocks, but it's real simple. You just kind of put it there next to the lithium, same thing, and we're going to be making tough alloy, 1,000 millibuckets of it, and we'll be using that to make our last press when we get it done. I have more in this tank right here. Put that here, and then we'll put the empty tank. While we're waiting, we have 1,000 millibuckets, so let's go ahead and break that. And where's our faucet? There it is. So we take our faucet, we put it in here, and we make our calculation press. Oh, that's 1,296. Okay, a little more. There we go. Good. It's going. And one other thing we're going to need is we need to be able to make quartz dust to make silicon to start making our circuits. So if we look at our processors, and every one of these requires printed silicon, and printed silicon requires quartz dust or crushed quartz being smelt into silicon for those silicon presses. And the only way to really get crushed quartz is a crusher. Well, there's a couple of different machines, but this one's one that we can get fairly easily since we've been working up to the Mekanism machines. So we have all this stuff. I put it in here. We're going to make a crusher real quick. I also stubbed out for a little more power for now. We are going to clean this up into a power area, but for now we're going to do that, and we'll throw some of our nether quartz in and let that crush. so we can have nether quartz into silicon. I'll probably get a few silicons made off screen, but what we're going to do is take our crushed quartz, throw it in the furnace, like so, and that will smelt into a silicon. So we are going to use that recipe quite a bit for our upcoming section where we're making some of our calculation processors and all those, so we can start all the basic AE2 machines. So all of the things we recently shown, I'm going to get built up. I'm going to build up some Certus quartz, and we'll get some silicon, and then we'll start making some of the AE2 machines that we need. So I'll be right back with that. Okay, we've got quite a few recipes set up here, and we're going to go over them real quick. We've probably got about 5 minutes left in the episode, something like that, so let's get started. One of the things that we don't have yet is an electric furnace, and there is a Mekanism recipe for that, this Energized Smelter. This is a pretty easy recipe with what we've already got, so it's glass, redstone, basic control, steel casing, everything we've seen before. So I'm going to do that to make the smelting a little faster and hopefully a little easier to deal with. And then there are a few things we've got to work through. One of the things we really need to be able to get is pure nether quartz crystals. So you can see in an enrichment chamber you can grow this, but this is actually part of the AE2 mod, and it will grow in water. But they make an item to speed up the growth because it's super slow in water. So you have to look up a growth chamber. And this is the recipe we're going for. We have to get a crystal growth accelerator. We have to get 6 of them, which you would normally surround a single block of water with it. And the recipe for it is quartz glass, iron ingot, and the ME cable. So we're going to work our way towards those. These are the nether quartz seeds. That's what we're actually going to grow in there. We're going to leave those there for now, just so they're not taking up inventory space. We will need a Fluix block, which is 4 Fluix crystals. We'll take those. We also need 4 quartz glass. We actually think we need 2 for the recipe. And we'll also need quartz fiber, which is just a combination of glass and crushed quartz for both of those. Then we'll take that quartz fiber, stick it into with 2 Fluix crystals to make ME glass cable. We'll be using this a lot to send signals around our ME system. And then in order to make the enrichment chamber, we have to put those things we just created inside this crystal growth accelerator. So we can put all that together and we can make it. Now we've got to make 6 more of those, and we also need ME glass cable, which we already have. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and create these other 5 and cut back to here, and we'll go ahead and create this chamber. Okay, we're ready. Let's go ahead and make this. We've got our 6 done. We'll go ahead and create that. I've never really used one, so I think I'm just going to try to put it on here and see if it needs power. I'm not sure if it does. Let's go ahead and get some of these, and we'll put these in here. And we'll see how long that takes to actually mature. I don't know. We'll keep an eye on it and see. And then once we come back, hopefully we'll have these as the mature nether quartz, or pure nether quartz, and we'll go ahead with the next part, which is creating our calculation processors and such. Alright, there is one thing you'll notice here. It says it's sleeping and there's 0 AE in it. So typically when you have that, you have to create an energy acceptor, which we have everything we need for that as well. So let's go ahead and create an energy acceptor. It's just iron, quartz glass, and Fluix crystals. So let's go ahead and create that. That will convert your energy types when it comes to AE. So let's go ahead and get that energy acceptor down. We also might use that to power our first drive, but we're going to clean this up really soon. So let's put this in here. We do have 10,000 AE, and let's go ahead and put our nether quartz seeds in here, and it says it's working. That's good. It is taking in power. There we go. Yeah, see, that is filling up really fast. So that's much better than waiting on the water, and these should get bigger in size as they go. And we could use the enrichment chamber, but this is going to be pretty fast, so we'll just use this, and once it's done, we'll use those for calculation processors. So I'm going to get together everything I need to do to make those processors, and we'll be back. Okay, now what we need to do is there's 2 steps to creating each of these processors. One is you take your logic press and then you take your base material. So for logic, it's gold. You put that in and it will actually create a logic, what is it called? A printed logic circuit. And then we take that printed logic circuit and we put it in here with our silicon. So we have to take this out, put our logic circuit in, put our silicon in, and that will come together. Oh, and I think we need redstone. And that will come together and actually make a logic processor, if I remember right. right? So we're going to do the same thing with diamonds and with our pure nether quartz. So we take our pure nether quartz, or is this? Yeah. So our pure nether quartz crystal, we take our calculation circuit, we put it in here. We take our printed silicon, we put it in here. And then we take our redstone. And then we have the same recipe with diamond. So that gives us a calculation processor. And then we have the same recipe with diamond. We take our engineering press. We take our engineering press, put it in here. We take our diamond, we put it in here. Then we take our silicon. Well, we've got to take this out. This goes up top. Silicon here. And then redstone, which our redstone disappeared. There it is. Redstone. And that is the engineering processor, okay? And each of those is going to be used for one or other components of our AE2 machines. So what I'm planning to do is next episode, we're going to get into AE in depth. It's probably going to be most of the episode because it is a pretty complex subject. And I'm also going to rebuild this platform. So I think I'm actually going to call this episode here because we have what we need to start AE2. And that's going to be a pretty big segment. So we will wrap this one up. Make sure you like and subscribe and let me know you're out there. And we'll see you next time.